Welcome in, Whiskey Freaks. It's the Blind Tasting Podcast. It's your number one attitudinal bourbon destination. And as always, I'm John Stark. And today, we focus on nothing but bourbon-y goodness. Because I got all kinds of things to throw your way today, guys. And we might just learn something while we're at it. I've got all kinds of new releases. Okay, I don't have all kinds, but I've got a couple new releases from our good friends at Garrison Brothers and Lux Row. Ezra Brooks. They're celebrating the return of Ezra Brooks 90 proof. They're celebrating in a big way, and I'm going to tell you all about it. And our good friends at Remus Bourbon, Ross and Squibb, aka MGP, they've got something for y'all too. And I've got a cool Jim Beam cocktail recipe that's good for the whole family. Okay, everybody over 21 anyway. Okay. If you're over 21 and you're in the family, it'll be good for you. And you'll want to hear about this one because it's easy, it's cheap. We love that, right? It's kind of like a Friday night in college. The wait is finally over, guys. Lady Bird Bourbon is back from our good friends at Garrison Brothers. And they're dropping the 2026 Lady Bird Texas Straight Bourbon on Saturday, April 4th. And they're going to be dropping it at the distillery. Of course, they're down in Texas. And they're also releasing a limited edition Cask Strength version at the same time. Now, the price tag is a hefty $179.99 a bottle. But here's the cool part. $5 from every bottle is going to go to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center to help protect native plants. And for those of you with infinity bottles, Lady Bird Johnson is the former First Lady of the United States. Her husband was Lyndon Johnson. He was the president, both from Texas, both very dead, but that's neither here nor there. Now, the bourbon's no joke. They say it spent 4 years in new charred American white oak. Then it's infused with, this is fun, it's infused with wildflower honey. And it's finished another 3 years in French cognac casks. So the result, they say it's smooth, it's layered, and it's got warm floral sweetness and rich complexity. Lux Row Distillers, they just dropped something really special too. Say hello to Lux Row Estate Bourbon. It's a 5-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon made with corn grown right on the distillery's own land in Bardstown, Kentucky. And this one hits 107 proof, and it's available exclusively at Lux Row for, nowadays, I don't know, for something that sounds kind of cool, $99.99 a bottle. I'm headed down to Kentucky in a week. I don't know, maybe Lux Row. Anyway, so this one's got a cool backstory, guys. The master distiller, John Rempe, he had a vision. He wanted to grow his own corn and turn it into bourbon. So he did what any master distiller who wanted to grow his own corn and turn it into bourbon. He planted an 11-acre field right there where a few rick houses now stand. And he partnered with a local farmer, and he watched the whole process from seed to harvest. He kept a good eye on it, and once it was in the distillery, he crafted a mash bill with 78% of the homegrown corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. And this is the literal definition of field to glass or grain to glass bourbon. And Rempe says it exceeded all his expectations. Now, on the palate, they say Lux Row Estate Bourbon is a honey-forward pour right from the get-go, with brown sugar and black cherry on the palate. Sounds very interesting. It's got a subtle hint of rye that adds just enough spice, and it finishes with a touch of dark chocolate. Again, they say it's smooth, because, layered, and you can taste the pride in every sip. That's what they say. Rempe calls it a labor of love, and you can see why. And this offering joins a strong lineup at Lux Row. Their other pours include the small batch Albarino cask finish, small batch PX sherry cask, the 12-year double barrel, and the 4-grain double single barrel, all award-winning whiskeys that have been recognized across the board. So if you're in Kentucky, this is your chance to maybe grab a bottle of something what they call truly local and truly special. Something spent 5 years in the barrel, truly handcrafted grain to glass stuff. If you want to get your hands on this, check it out in person at the Lux Row Distillers or online at luxrowdistillers.com. They do not pay me to say any of this. All right, guys, I need you to stop what you're doing. Okay, maybe wait till after this episode. Don't stop. keep listening. But seriously, guys, check this out. And this one hits close to home for me. Ezra Brooks just launched their 90 prizes for 90 proof sweepstakes, and it's celebrating the return of their 90 proof bourbon. So they're giving away 90 prizes, folks, for 90 proof. Get it? Yeah. And I'm not bragging here. It's just kind of what happened last year. I actually won one of the Traeger smokers that they were giving away last year in the Ezra Brooks 99 offering. True story, guys. Yes, yeah. Thank you. I did nothing to earn it. I just simply entered the sweepstakes last year for the Ezra Brooks 99, and I won that Traeger. So I also just entered the Ezra Brooks 90 sweepstakes that they've just announced here recently. So this is how you do it. You're going to go to airbaton.net. You can just Google Ezra Brooks 90 Airbaton. It'll come up for you. Enter online. And if you want to stack your chances, you can look for special in-store displays, they say. And I think there's a QR code on them. You can scan your phone, and I think you can enter more than once. So I only entered once, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But again, this is their fresh contest this year. It's not the 99 prizes for 99 proof, because they're very creative at Ezra Brooks. This is the 90 for 90 proof. Okay. They say bottles of this 90 proof stuff are pretty much everywhere. I haven't looked for it. I personally don't care. I like Ezra 99. I think it's cheap enough. I think it's good enough. I think it's great. Fair price, good balanced whiskey. But if you're into a 90 proofer, hey, this is your chance to grab their 90 proof offering. Okay, Remus Bourbon. They are proud to introduce the Ross and Squibb VIP Trip Sweepstakes. Yes, guys. This episode is all about me hooking you up with prizes and trips, okay? This one here from Remus. You can get a one-of-a-kind tour of their private and historic distillery led by master distiller Ian Sturzman, and you can enter for your chance to win now also over at Airbaton. I think it's Airbaton something Remus Bourbon. Anyway, you can't not find this if you Google it, guys. This sweepstakes runs from January 1st of this year all the way to the end of the year, and it's split into 4 different time periods. So go on to Airbaton, Google it, Remus Bourbon, submit an entry for this. Also, there's a QR code at participating stores on this one too, guys. So if you have a smartphone, follow the link when you're at the display at the liquor store or your grocery store. They say there's 1 entry per person per day, so you can actually enter this over and over and over again. And the coolest part about this is 1 winner per entry period. So there's going to be, like I said, 4 periods a year. You're going to receive a trip for 2 to Ross and Squibb Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And that's not all. It includes round-trip coach airfare. How about that? 2-night hotel stay and a VIP distillery tour. And a $500 e-check for a rental car or meals. So they said the total prize value is going to be $2,300. Again, this is Remus Bourbon. You'll have to work it out with them. If you win, you'll work it out. You'll be happy. You'll have a great time going to tour the Ross and Squibb Distillery. So, Whiskey Freaks, because I am a generous dude and because I believe in random acts of kindness, especially as it relates to whiskey, free of charge, of course. Let me do something nice for all y'all today. And real quick, let me get a sip of something here I've been sipping on the whole time. Okay, this is not related to that. I'll tell you about this, what I'm sipping on in just a minute. I want to tell you about this real quick. Jim Beam, they didn't just. Last year, I believe, they rolled out Jim Beam Pineapple. I think it was last spring. I know, flavored bourbon. It can make some of you guys cringe. I get that. But I think there are a lot of us who can appreciate a cocktail. And although I'm usually a neat pour guy myself, and I actually posted something on social media the other day about whether you like it neat or whether you like it on ice. It'd be awesome if you could go onto my socials and you could make a comment. I'd like to talk about that social media post here in a few days or a few weeks. So I want to kind of conglomerate all the results or tally them up or whatever you want to call it and talk about that. So go out there, find my post on whether you like your pour neat, whether you like ice, whether you like something in between. Make a comment. Your input is very valuable to what I'm doing here. So, flavored whiskey isn't usually what I do, unless somebody's doing something with something blackberry flavored. You know how much I love blackberry. But this one at least makes sense to me heading into spring and summer. Jim Beam took that familiar bourbon base we all know, Jim Beam white label. They gave it a pineapple twist. And now you've got something that's kind of built for patio season, right? Cookouts, afternoons when you want a drink that isn't trying to punch you in the throat. I mean, you don't want to have a high proofer or a hazmat when it's 85 degrees outside, right? Sitting out on the patio. You want to sit out there for a few hours. You want something that's, well, in this case, I think you want a cocktail, really, right? And apparently because I'm in a giving mood, let me hand you all what I think is a terrific little warm weather pour in this recipe. And here's what you do. You take 1 part Jim Beam pineapple, 3 parts lemon lime soda. I'm going to use Sprite for mine if I do this. I don't have the Jim Beam pineapple at the house anymore. But 3 parts lemon lime soda. You're going to pour it over. This is very complicated, guys. So you can get a pencil or whatever you need to do. You're going to pour it over ice. And you're going to toss on a lime wedge or a pineapple slice. Okay, let me go over that again. 1 part Jim Beam pineapple, 3 parts lemon lime soda. Pour it over ice, toss on a lime wedge or a pineapple slice if you want to be fancy. That's basically it. Stir it once, maybe twice. There you go. Easy peasy. It's going to be refreshing. And what you get is this simple, crisp, sweet, and probably pretty dangerous a patio drink. The pineapple, the citrus, they're going to work together, guys. They're going to, honestly, if you got somebody in your life who says bourbon is too serious for them, or it's too strong, or it's too intimidating, hand them this little whiskey drink and you'll see how fast they quit complaining. That's it. You're welcome, whiskey freaks. It is a gesture of awesomeness free of charge, as usual. And this recipe, when this episode drops, it will be on my social media the day this episode drops. So if it was too complicated or you didn't have a pencil handy, you're going to see it on socials. Let me get another sip of this. Okay. All during this episode, without your consent or knowledge. That sounds edgy, right? Well, I've been sipping on something. Okay, I've kind of railed on this stuff before. And it's not because I don't generally like it. Please don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. And it's not because it's ever bad per se. But because I've said, if you listen a lot, you know how I feel about Booker's. And I've been drinking Booker's The Beam House batch today during this somewhat brief but educational episode. And this one is from way back in 2024. It was the second batch from 2024, and it came in at 124.6 big proof, and it cost $100. I'm wondering why in the hell am I doing this today? I didn't announce I was going to be doing a tasting or a review. I'm going to explain exactly why after I get one more sip. Because, guys, you know I like this stuff. So this batch, the Beam House batch, not having anything special or unique in it, in my opinion, was aged 7 years, 2 months, and 22 days to be specific. That I like about Jim Beam, and I've mentioned that a million times on the podcast. Jim Beam is one of my favorite distilleries. It's just one of my favorites. If I could go there every time I go to Kentucky, I would. I can't always, but I like stopping in there. Occasionally, you'll see Fredno or Freddie there, maybe signing bottles. Kind of cool. So this one, it's got your age statement and the proof. Proof on that one, 124.6. It's pretty much like every other batch. And the age is almost exactly like every other batch too. And the mash bill is the same, naturally. So how do I feel about this particular batch that I've been sipping on here? I've never reviewed this on the podcast. I've had it sitting here in the house. I just haven't gotten around to it. I got a lot of bottles here. I just haven't gotten around to. This one caught my eye the other day when I was rummaging through looking for my Jackson purchased bourbon, which, by the way, you should listen to my last episode where I interviewed Craig Beam, master distiller from Heaven Hill for 30-some years, and now the master distiller at Jackson Purchase Distillery in Hickman, Kentucky. Anyway, you should go back. You should listen to my episode where I get a lengthy discussion with Craig Beam. Anyway, so back to this batch. Speaking of Beam, I think the phrase that I'm going to use again today, sipping on the Beam House batch here, is the phrase that pays. It's per usual. Folks, look at my reviews. Folks, look at any review. Go on. I dare you. Go out on the YouTubes. Go out on the Apple. Watch any video. Everybody uses the phrase per usual or as usual. I think the guys on Breaking Bourbon even use that same phraseology when they talk about every single batch of Bookers. Maybe not every, but some. Okay. I don't want to get sued by these guys. I like them guys. That's how everybody describes the tasting notes and the proof point, all of it. And look, I said it already. I love Jim Beam. Okay, I know it's Beam Suntory. Okay. And the reason I'm getting fired up here is some jackass just had to correct me on social media recently. And isn't social media a beautiful place, right? He said, it's not Jim Beam. Well, jackass, I always say this. I am always learning about bourbon, and I'm always trying to figure things out. This complicated, wonderful, amazing thing we call bourbon. But I don't need your help to figure out who the F actually owns Jim Beam now. I understand it's Beam Suntory, but I like to call it Jim Beam. Thank you very much. But I digress. What do I think about this batch, Beam House batch? The nose? Yeah, it's great. It's like birds. If you hear birds, it's the doggone birds again. They're going nuts out there. The nose on this is decent. It's great, as usual. It's fruitier than some batches, which I like. Getting some pear, some apple, some carameliciousness going on in here. It's not bad at all. Honestly, I like it. And 124 proof. There is absolutely zero alcohol. And I know it's ethanol too, guys. There is zero ethanol on the nose here. And I love that. Let me get one more sip here. Yeah, it's pretty hot off the jump. And I've been, after my first sip today, that was a little spicy. But after the fourth or fifth sip here, not a problem. If I roll it around a little bit here, do that Kentucky chew. And I'm tasting neat. Just FYI, guys. That's how I do it. You'll notice on that social media post I put out there. I'm team neat. Do it your way. Do it however you want. I'm just team neat. The mouthfeel on this is pretty good too. It's got a pretty decent oily mouthfeel. You get some rich dark caramel in here. A little bit of barrel char, and that fruitiness I talked about on the nose really comes through here on the palate. It's real nice. Yeah, I'm kind of getting some crushed pear in here. Some strong peppery spice. Yeah. Guys, I love it. I mean, it really it's Booker's, and it's great. And even on the back end here, after my sixth or seventh sip. Well, it didn't even take that long, to be honest, but I'm getting a little bit of chocolatey note in here too. I like this stuff, guys. I approve of the Beam House batch. But what's so unique about it? Nothing.
How dare you?
Yeah, well, y'all know I give out honesty here. So, honesty. And I refer you to my previous episode, which I can't remember the episode number, but it was last year where I hypothesized or I offered up or I made the recommendation that Bookers should be put out the pasture, retired. Bye-bye to the fun wooden box in the fancy bottle. And my reason is this. I love Jim Beam. How many times can I say that? I love Booker No and everything he's done for whiskey, all that jazz, right? He was an innovator, right? So why keep doing the same thing over and over? To me, it just doesn't honor his legacy. Guys, let's sit down. Let's figure out another way to give Booker his due. Maybe it's a twice a year release of something really special. I don't know. They're not paying me at Jim Beam to think. And as good as this Beam House batch is, it's not extraordinary. And for those of you with infinity bottles, that means special. And I've said this 100 times too. If another Booker's comes out, will I grab one? Yeah, I probably will. Yeah. That's the is it irony? I don't know. Chances are I'm going to have the fun wooden box and the fancy bottle in my house. I probably will. So I guess I'm done railing against Bookers. I think my voice is basically a lone wolf howling in the bourbon wilderness. And I don't think the fine folks at Jim Beam, Beam Suntory, I don't think those fine folks really give a damn what I think about their Bookers releases. But let's be honest, they haven't really brought anything new to the table in quite a few years. So real quick, I want to mention an upcoming event or a party, a celebration. It's going to be a big deal here in the St. Louis area, specifically Missouri. It's the Missouri Spirit Festival, and it's coming up. It's going to be in Augusta, Missouri on May 30th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., and I'm planning on getting those cats here on the podcast to talk about it before it happens, so y'all can kind of get excited and get fired up if you're in the area here. And if not, it'll give you an idea of what goes into putting something like that on, what goes into putting on a festival, and what could you expect at a bourbon or a spirit festival. And I want to shout out to our good friends at Barroom Knowledge. They're on Facebook and TikTok. Barroom Knowledge. Just ping them, hit them up, Google them, search them, whatever you want. If you like my new book, Whiskey Wisdom and Bourbon BS, Barrel Strength Legends, Lies, and Untold Tales, you're going to love what these cats are putting out every single day. That's Barroom Knowledge. And if you're looking for another bourbon group to join, and who isn't, right? Check out Whiskey Friends. It's just that simple. Whiskey Friends on Facebook. My buddy Charlie's got a group over there. I'm part of it. We'd all love to have y'all over there. And also, while I'm in the mood of giving shout-outs, I want to give a shout-out to all the farmers, the distillery production guys and gals, the warehouse workers, the bottlers and the truck drivers, because they're the ones that make it happen. So cheers to all of them. Well, that's all I've got for today, Whiskey Freaks. Thanks for listening to the Blind Tasting Podcast, your number one attitudinal bourbon destination. And I'm going to finish my glass of the Beam House batch. Cheers.